Hey guys, what is going on? We got a very cool new assault rifle in the Season 4 Reloaded update of Vanguard. We are ranking all of the assault rifles in the Season 4 Reloaded update in Vanguard, which there are a lot of fantastic weapons on this list. I think that off the top of my head, there's like 4 or 5 meta tier weapons in the game at the moment, which is ridiculous in the assault rifle category. This is the best category in the game at the moment, I believe. To start us off here, we do have, of course, the tier rankings, what they mean and what they are. We do have the bottom tier, which is the dumpster. You do not want to find yourself in this particular category as a gun in this game. These are very, very bad weapons. Above that is the situational tier, weapons that do typically only excel in certain situations. Pretty self-explanatory, this one. Above this is the pretty good tier, which I believe are weapons that are basically middle of the road. They do some things well. They're not the best guns, but they are pretty decent. In the tier above this one, we do have the almost meta tier, which is like the peachy colored one here, the nice orangey one. Basically, these are weapons that are pushing it. They do have really great stats in this game, but they are sort of lacking in a couple of different areas that don't make them meta tier weapons. And above this, of course, the red tier, the top of the meta at the moment, S tier guns that are very, very good. Some of the best guns in the game at the moment belong in this tier. To start us off, we do have the AS-44, which is it's a pretty interesting weapon in this game, I'm not gonna lie. This is one of those ones that's kind of versatile. You can put this in like a burst mode and you can do pretty decent work. And again, you can play this fully automatic, which does again make it quite a versatile weapon. However, in the fully automatic category, it does feel a little bit more difficult to control than some of the other better weapons. And then in the burst category, the AS-44 is a little bit less consistent than we'd probably prefer. I'm gonna put this in the pretty good tier because I like the versatility from this thing. However, it is a little bit more difficult to control than some of the other fully automatic weapons on this list, and it's not great as a burst weapon either, but it's still okay. Moving on to the Automaton here, this is a fantastic gun in this game. If you've seen any of my videos on the channel recently, we always praise the Automaton because it is really, really fun to use. There are certain attachment combinations that you can make to give this very, very fast time to kill, 3-shot kill, not too bad to control recoil, good movement speed stats, basically making it a fantastic assault rifle in this game with a very, very large magazine, I might add. We're going to put this in the meta tier basically because it is one of my absolute favorite guns. It kills very quickly and it is very easy to use. So again, meta tier for this because it's super, super strong. Next, we do have the BAR, which again is a fantastic weapon in this game. You can get those 2-shot kills with this thing. It's 68 damage per bullet, man. This thing absolutely deletes people. It does shoot relatively slowly, but when you only have to land 2 bullets on somebody to get a kill, this makes it one of the best guns in the game. 2-shot kills, always strong here. I'm going to put this in the meta tier because it is absolutely fantastic, and when you are going on those longer streaks, this is one of the most reliable weapons that you can use, because when you are in those clutch moments, you say your 18th, 19th, 20th kill or something like that in a V2 rocket streak, landing 2 bullets on someone is much, much easier than landing a 3rd, and still getting the kill with the 2 shots means this is one of the best guns in the game. Next to this, again, we have the hat trick of meta weapons in a row. You already know the Carbine is one of the absolute best guns in the game, and again, really easy to control recoil, great time to kill, 3-shot kill, really accurate, just fantastic movement speed stats, a very large magazine and a 45 round mag. This thing's just fantastic, man. This is one of the best guns in the game. I'm going to put this at the top of the meta tier. We're going to organize these a little bit and put this in the top left hand side of the meta tier because I believe this is one of the best guns going around. Moving away from our trio of meta tier guns that are all in a row, which is pretty interesting, we have the Itra Burst. Now, this isn't a fantastic weapon, man. Like, you can get sort of 1 to 2 burst kills, making it kind of decent, and when you do land a 1 burst kill with this, it feels pretty decent, but the consistency really isn't there, and burst weapons for the most part aren't super reliable and fantastic in these games unless they consistently 1 burst kill people from about medium distance, say 20-30 meters or so, and this isn't really the kind of weapon for that. It's not too bad. I'm going to put this in the situational tier because sometimes when you get a 1 burst kill, this thing feels really, really decent, and then other times when you have to land a 2 or a 3 burst, it feels absolutely dumpster tier. So situational tier, not too bad, but again, not fantastic. Moving on to the NZ41, which I think is one of the more underrated weapons in this game. You actually can get a 2-shot kill with this, and if you are very accurate and can land consistent headshots, you're going to destroy people with this gun, because I mean, getting a 2-shot kill, 1 headshot and a body shot follow-up means you delete someone, which is super, super satisfying. But again, when you do get that 3-shot kill on people, the TTK does suffer a lot because this is a relatively slow firing gun. But when you do get a 2-shot, man, this thing absolutely deletes people. I'd love to put this in the almost meta tier because I mean, if it was a consistent 2-shot kill, it'd easily be one of the best guns in the game, but when you do get that 3-shot, the TTK does blow out a little bit. It's not fantastic in that situation, but if you're accurate, this can be one of your favorite guns. Moving on again to one of the fan favorite guns in Call of Duty history, the STG-44 is an absolute classic among Call of Duty fans. Again, this used to be one of the best guns that the game had to offer. It was like probably the best gun, actually. 2-shot kill with like really easy to control recoil. You can't really do that anymore, which is a little bit of a shame, but I mean, it's still pretty decent. It's very, very easy to control still. The movement speed stats are pretty pretty decent, but when the TTK does slow down a little bit because you do have to get that 3-shot kill, it's obviously not ideal, but it does still sit around a 200 millisecond-ish TTK, which if you were to compare it to guns in other Call of Duty games is absolutely lightning fast, but for this game, it does sort of suffer a little bit. You can still kill people quite quickly, but it's not ideal in certain circumstances, so we're going to put this in the sort of middle of the almost meta tier because I think it's pretty decent still, but not one of the best guns in the game anymore. Next, we do have the Volk, which again is a decent weapon in this game. This basically fits the definition of a middle of the road gun. There was a small period of time where this was showing up a little bit more in the COD League, basically because it did fit the middle of the road build between the Automaton and the MP40, which are the meta guns in the ranked play and again in the COD League. Again, this thing has fantastic movement speed stats, good aim down side speed, it is really fun. The TTK is not fantastic, but it does have pretty decent range values to sort of compensate for that. So it's like an SMG assault rifle hybrid. It's pretty decent, but again, it's not one of the best guns in the game. I'm going to put this at the top of the pretty good tier because I think it's a pretty decent gun. It's not one of my absolute favorites, and it does kill a little slower than some of the other weapons at the top of this list, but it's still pretty fun. A definitely cool weapon to use in this game because it does fit the middle of the assault rifle SMG categories. Next, we do have the KG-M40, which did get added a little while ago, but it's still a pretty decent weapon in this game. TTK is a little bit slower than we probably prefer, similar to like the STG-44, and the recoil is really easy to use this thing. With that relatively slow TTK on this thing, it's like 200-ish plus milliseconds for the most part. It's not too bad, but again, it's not one of my absolute favorite guns. The magazine can be a little short with this, obviously not ideal. So again, we're going to put this in the pretty good tier, I believe probably above the Volk, as the recoil on this thing is super nice. This thing is a laser beam, but again, TTK is a little lackluster here, so we're going to put this at the top of the pretty good tier. Next, we do have the Nikita AVT, which I have always compared to the Kuba Carbine when I have talked about this thing. We even made a video on it comparing them side by side, and we found for the most part that most of the stats here, apart from like the magazine size, they're basically the same gun. You get like a 3-shot kill, 180 millisecond TTK, the recoil is basically the same. It's really strong. The only thing that does let the Nikita AVT down a little bit is the magazine size, which does, with all those combination of stats that we did talk about, very similar to the Kuba Carbine, you do have to have a 25 round fast mag, which is not ideal when you are trying to go on those longer streaks. You do end up with less ammunition overall, and you end up with having to reload more often, which is not ideal, and it can get you killed when you are going on those longer streaks, as I said. But again, just being able to have very similar stats to the Kuba Carbine means it is always going to be one of the better guns in the game. I'm going to put this in the bottom of the meta tier just because it's basically a Kuba Carbine that's less powerful in terms of that magazine size, but it is still a very strong gun in this game, and it's really easy to use as well. And then lastly, the new gun on this list is the Vargo-S, which is really fun and a super versatile gun in this game. You actually can make a build with the incendiary rounds and the 30-06 rounds, and basically you can get one-shot kills on people who are not running the fortified perk, which is really funny and super satisfying and very powerful. Instant TTK on this thing when you are getting a one-shot kill. No time to kill when you do instantly delete people. Very strong. However, it does get countered a little bit by fortified, meaning you do have to land a second shot, and if you're only used to firing one shot to get a kill, you sometimes don't fire that follow-up shot, and it can be a little lackluster. The TTKs just sort of blow out a little bit. When you are getting one-shot kills, super fun. Outside of that, you can get a 3-shot kill at 180-ish milliseconds with pretty decent to control recoil, and again, that does fit the bill for a decent weapon in this game. But when you are getting those one-shots, this would probably be like the top-tier meta gun in this game, but because it's a little bit sort of inconsistent, we're going to put this at the top of the almost meta tier just because this is a really fun weapon to use. Versatile, easy to control, and one-shot kill potential with the right build. 3-shot outside of that and 180 millisecond. Really cool weapon to add to this game. So that was our list here, guys. All of the assault rifles in this game, for the most part, are pretty decent, and some of them are absolutely fantastic. Having 4 top-tier meta weapons in this game is very cool. And then below that, weapons that are still pretty decent, like your Vargos and your NZ41s. If you do get those situations where it does work, fantastic weapons to go around here. Again, if you do disagree with anything on this list, or even if you agree or you want to write your own list, let me know in the comments, and I will definitely talk to you about Call of Duty because it's fantastic, and I love comparing guns in these games. It's really fun. Again, thank you very much for watching this one. Make sure you do hit that subscribe button with those notifications turned on. I do very much appreciate it, and it really does help me out. And again, hopefully I will see you in the next video. Bye!